So, after 100 games of Dizzy, we have finished at 48 wins to 52 losses. Not a bad record, and a character that I definitely enjoyed. I know Dizzy right now is seen as a little bit on the weaker side of the cast. I think people are kind of hopeful for some buffs coming her way. This is pretty true of release characters being a little undertuned, with the exception of a few in Strive. But so far as Dizzy goes, she is quite a fun character. She's got this kind of zoning / anti-zoning thing going on with Michael Sword and the Pillar being able to snipe out people that are maybe trying to like set up projectiles or summon minions, kind of stuff like that. And also her unique mechanic in the ice field is very interesting, and I want to touch on it a little more later. So Dizzy as a character definitely likes taking more of like a controlled pace over the match. She wants to get a little bit of distance and be able to get set up either with her fish or with the ice field and try and force people to move around her special moves in a way that makes it a lot more predictable, and that way she's able to snipe out and maybe get some conversions. With the ice field, she's able to get hard knockdowns on even loose conversions and get set back up. So it kind of feeds back into itself in this really nice way. I found I was having a lot of success just getting a pretty basic combo and being able to push people away. Being able to snipe out approaches with the H-Pillar and convert off it with H Michael Sword felt really good. It feels like you're doing something powerful, which is really important, I think, especially when you're picking up a character or just trying to figure out if you're going to like them. Having something where you're able to feel like you have something powerful in your arsenal is pretty good. So let me talk about her ice field a little bit more now. I really enjoy this unique mechanic. It's something very cool and very interesting in a fighting game. Being able to change the ground you're fighting on is very interesting, and Dizzy takes use of it in a pretty good way. She's able to gain momentum. It feels like she's able to gain momentum a little bit faster than other characters. She's able to glide around a little bit more, maybe use her momentum in ways that some other characters might struggle. Although I did have a lot of times where I just overshot while trying to go for like a pretty simple close slash into 6H type deal, and then I would like zoom right underneath my opponent and just completely whiff. So it's pretty funny, but it also serves as a double-edged sword. It's something that's pretty rough. Basically, any knockdown onto the ice field will trigger it to pop, and it'll convert even soft knockdowns into hard knockdowns, where you're able to set up more Oki, which is really advantageous for Dizzy, who has a lot of things she wants to set up, either more ice or getting the fish set up so that she's able to control more space, and once again feeds back into that forcing opponents to move predictably kind of game plan. However, especially in like the first 50, even up to game 100, I was trying to apply the ice in different positions and found that if I'm a little bit off about it, I'm left at such a disadvantage that when the enemy ends up opening me up, it turns any of their hits into a hard knockdown. So it can be a little, it could definitely be a little rough. I know that this is like the trade-off for her being able to set it up, but like my personal wish list is that whichever Dizzy has established the ice, that if it popped for her, it would cause like some kind of soft knockdown, where she's like still able to get popped up and continue being comboed or something, because that's something she can do off of the ice pop. But maybe having anything turn into a hard knockdown against her is like really rough, especially when you consider that her defense is already kind of on the weaker side of characters. She mostly has to rely on universal mechanics, or she has one super, her 50-meter super is invincible on startup, so you're able to use that a little bit, but it's still definitely rough. It's also a little rough considering that her normals are a little shortchanged. I think this is a fine trade-off, though. She is a special moves character. She has the two fish, the two versions of Michael Sword, one of which guard crushes, the ice pillars, the chestnuts fireball that does have 2 hits, so you're able to wipe away somebody else's fireball and then have hers come down at a different angle. Really useful for counter zoning and fighting typical zoning pattern matchups and stuff. So like, she has a lot of stuff that's really strong in the special move department, which makes me feel like her normals being as they are, I think work really well in conjunction with the special moves in her kit, even if sometimes they feel like they're on the weaker side or they're not as great for fending off pressure. I think that's actually a good trade-off. I'd be interested to see if Arxis feels that she is Suika character as maybe the overarching community might portray, to see what they might change about her in that department, because I feel like a lot of her normals just feel fine. The one thing that feels a little awkward is her 6P, but I think it's supposed to be a little stubby. Yeah, something else I should talk about is the fish. This is a pretty iconic move from her history as a character, and it works pretty differently in this game. When playing Exerd, you would set up the fish and you had kind of multiple varieties. You had the ice fish and then the fire fish that would fire the laser beams or would block the attack for some of them. But you just have the ice fish this time around. Instead of being like a multi-biting thing, it's just a single bite, and the 2 different versions, one covers the ground, one covers the air. I actually really like using these things. I ended up using them. There's a basic Oki pattern that she has where it's like 2k 2d cancel into the ground fish, and then you either just like empty low, same side, or you IAD over and try and 50-50 left-right somebody with the fish. And it's very effective, but I liked having these just for screen control too. Having just the grounded fish going out after you knock somebody away with H. Michael, and being able to kind of control their approach with the fish slowly moving on the ground, the jump dust controlling the air a little bit, or you would set up the air fish, you would kind of multi-layer these things so that you're able to control their approach or walk up behind the fish. Because they're so slow moving, you can move up behind them to take up space on the screen. It created this like really interesting dynamic that I really like about characters that have this kind of functionality. I like the slow moving fireball you follow up behind. That's why I like some of the characters that I like in Street Fighter 6. Like, I really like playing Aki because she has a slow moving fireball that you follow up behind and stuff. So, and it's interesting to see in Strive now, because there weren't too many characters that would do this. There was Kai with like the charged stun edge kind of going on. They give it to Jacko a little bit, being able to dash cancel her minion kick. There wasn't too many people who would fire off something slower moving and try and follow it up. And it feels cool to have that with the fish, with the added layer of it being, you know, grounded or covering the air better and stuff like that. But yeah, I ended up really enjoying Dizzy. I had a lot of fun, and it was definitely a breath of fresh air after playing the Oscar games. And I mentioned in that video I was kind of becoming like increasingly impatient. I wasn't looking forward to playing the game, and that's why I ended up calling it off early with him. So being able to sit down and play and have a, you know, no pun intended, but a chill time with Dizzy was really nice. Yeah, I think for the rest of this month, I was initially going to start trying to finish out the last 4 characters we need for the series, which is Elfel, Johnny, Slayer, and Venom. But I also want to make an actual push for Celestial, because I've never gotten it on my own. I've usually just hopped between characters or done lobbies and had a fun time, so I've never just grinded it out in the tower and actually gotten my Celestial badge. So I wanted to try and make a concerted effort this month to try and do that. I think if you see me in the tower, I'll most likely be playing Jacko, Soul, or Abba. I think those are the characters I kind of like swap between now and kind of have the most fun going back and forth between playing. I may add Dizzy into the rotation because she's still fresh on my mind, and like I said, had a lot of fun with her. But yeah, hopefully I'll see some of y'all in the tower. Don't gatekeep me too hard from Celestial, that would be nice. But yeah, let me know what you think about Dizzy in the comments below, and enjoy the matches, guys. Peace. Bedman named Honkshu. Awesome.
Duel 1. Let's rock.
Ah! Wonder if I just need more, like, pillar and neutral. Oh, that didn't connect with him? Nice double overhead. My close slash didn't meet him! I'm gonna lose it.
Duel 1. Let's rock.
Oh! Shit. Oh, nice 6 feet. I think they could have kept that really simple.
Slap. Duel 2. Let's rock.
Yeah, that's fair.
Slap.
That one felt really good. If nothing else, I can use that as the lead into the final game, even if... Alright. He is Alpha Blade Gaming. The range with which that connects is so awesome, by the way. Fuck. Alright. I think he rage quit at the end too. It doesn't say connecting to another person. Okay, so maybe not. Maybe it was just a little hiccup in the connection. Whenever I see that at the end of the match, like, I'm just expecting it to, like, give me the little disconnecting page.